Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Kommo-O in the Open Ultra League. This team here is very good to use if you want to use something with this Pokemon. This is something I would highly recommend you. Was a lot of fun playing this one here as well. We're going to have Kommo-O in the lead, going to be able to destroy most water type Pokemon, going to be able to go head to head against this Giratina here as well in the beginning, which is going to be interesting. We're going to have the Say-Stop of the Ampharos, which is going to be a very cool Pokemon as well in this meta right now. Very good Say-Stop in general. And then we're going to have the Registeel in the back. Kommo-O, having the subtyping of Fighting, will allow you to have some good chances against other Steel-type Pokemon, but you're also going to be able to get to those Dragon Claws pretty fast, which is amazing in this scenario. And my opponent going to forfeit here first game. Next opponent, amazing lead for us already. Swampert going in the first one there, but we're going to be able to now get out the Walrein, which we definitely kind of want to get onto our it's called Registeel here. Registeel is a little bit slower than Ampharos, so I went ahead and went for my Registeel instead as a Say-Swap. They're going to let this first move go through. I think I can still outspeed them here to the next one, so maybe they want to shield this one up. I don't know. Let's take a look at this one. They're going to shield this one up here, and I'm going to let this move go through here. It's going to be the Icicle Spear bait. That's amazing for us, as we're going to be able to now go ahead, let this next move go through as well. This seems a little bit weird, but it's going to be another Icicle Spear, allowing us to get to another charge move here. That was definitely way too over-predicted from my opponent here. They're gonna go ahead now, they can go for one Icicle Spear to knock me out, and I can go into my Ampharos, farm them down with one fast move. We see the Swampert coming in, and of course, we can go ahead and go for the big Focus Blast coming in now as well. Let's see if they want to catch, they don't want to catch, and we can say goodbye to this Swampert here, boom! And we're going to see the Shadow Charizard coming in, and we see it coming out as well again. Next opponent, Scrafty lead. This is definitely a very decent lead. It's kind of neutral. Actually, because we don't have the bulk that Scrafty has, it's going to be a little bit awkward with the counter damage. But of course, close combat would one-shot this Pokemon, but I can go ahead and go for the bait first. We're going to not get the shield sadly, and this was definitely a little bit of an awkward play here in general. They can go for more power punches now. I can go for my own next charge move here. Going to go ahead and get the Dragon Claw through. Going to get our Ampharos in now against them, and I'm going to go for the shield and try to farm them all the way down. Ampharos with energy advantage is amazing, as you're going to see the Drapion coming through now. This will be an interesting one as well. Now let's take a look at this. We're going to be able to just completely destroy them with a one Focus Blast here. Say goodbye to that opponent. That was so sad to see for them, because it was just completely a one-shot. As you see now, the Trevenant coming through as well. This team is literally perfect in my opinion, like just on paper at least. We're going to be able to go for one more charge move against them. Going to be able to get the final shield by them, and I can just go ahead, go into my Registeel and seal that deal. But basically, you have a lead that's very decent also against something like a Trevenant, because they have to go for the Shadow Ball in order to do damage against you. But you're also going to be able to bait those Pokemon out of the way with your Ampharos. Ampharos together with Kommo-O is a very good core, especially together also with the Registeel in the back. I really enjoy this one here so far. Dragon Claw coming through, fine for us. We're going to be able to go for another one here as well. Going to let this move go through from the opponent, and I can also let this move go through here maybe. It's going to be a Shadow Ball, but I can lock on them down with my Registeel, getting a ton of energy here, as we're going to see the Scrafty coming through. We just have to hit one Focus Blast against them, and then we would be able to farm them down with our Ampharos, so that should be our play here. Let's go for a Focus Blast against them here as well. That's going to do some decent damage, and I can go ahead, go into my Ampharos and try to farm them down. In comes an Obstagoon. This is not ideal whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and let this move go through here. I'm gonna go for the bait first. I don't know if this is the right play. Do they go ahead and shield this move up? Please shield this move up. They do not shield this move up. And at this point of time, I have to shield it myself. It's going to be Night Slash coming through. I have to go for another Brutal Swing here. I should be able to still survive that counter one there, but can I even get the knockout? I don't think I can. And if I just went for the Focus Blast, this game would have been so much easier for me to win, and like this, I'm going to forfeit this game because there was not a lot that I could do there, but if I went for the Focus Blast and got it correctly, I would have been fine, but not like this. Sadly, next opponent, we're going to see a Dragonite against us. We're going to see the Dragon Claw coming through here. Should have most likely went for one more fast move against them, because I would have got that one for free in there. But like this, I'm going to swap out into my Ampharos. I can go ahead and farm them all the way down, shielding once, but I will be able to get their shield back for 100% sure there as well, as we're going to be able to get out the Ampharos from the opponent. they actually win CMP here, which is really bad for us. But it's going to be luckily the Thunder Punch, which will allow us to go for another Focus Blast here. This will just one-shot them, and this was the next one that hit. And also Ampharos just going to be able to completely farm down the opponent as well, as we now see the Gelatin coming in. They don't really have any chance anymore. We can just stay in here, to be fair. Just go for these Zap Cannons and we will be fine. I might just swap out later on into my Kommo-O because I can farm them down, but like there's literally no need for it, to be fair. I can just go ahead, stay in here and just knock them out with my own Registeel, which is going to be amazing for me as well. This is going to do not enough damage because they're going to shield this move up. I can try to catch a move onto my Kommo-O, and of course that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Goodbye there, Shadow Ball going to go basically to waste because I can just farm them down before they can farm me down, and this is going to be a very good game. Next opponent, a Walrein lead. Horrible lead, of course, for us. We're going to swap out immediately, trying to bait out a potential Trevenant maybe, but they're going to stay in here, going for the Icicle Spear. I'm not really forced to shield this one up. This was not an Earthquake yet. And we're going to see a Mew swapping in against me. That's very nice for us because they're going to catch the Brutal Swing from us, allowing us to go for another one here as well. Which is going to be pretty decent, as we're going to be able to get the shield from the opponent already. Going to be able to shield up the move from the opponent. It's going to be a serve, and I can go for another Brutal Swing here, forcing another shield or the knockout from them here. Let's see what we're going to get here. We're going to get the knockout from them, and we can realign, which is going to be very, very good for our team. Walrein coming through, we can go for another Brutal Swing, and you see already how good Shadow Ampharos is in the current meta. It's just wild how strong this Pokemon is. We can now align our Registeel, we can take one Earthquake, but we're going to shield up the first one here, which is going to be fine as well for us. We can now go ahead, go for the Focus Blast in time, knock out the opponent, and now we have 2 Pokemon against 1 Pokemon. We have the chance to debuff the opponent here, and it's going to be a Deoxys anyway, which is going to be a very good game for us. As you're going to see now the next opponent coming through, another Walrein leader. Very bad for us, but we can go ahead and go back into our Ampharos. They still go for one charge move here. Going to be another Icicle Spear, and we can just stay in as well. Going for the Brutal Swing here against the opponent. They can force me to shield one more time, but they're actually going to go ahead and go for their own charge move. I can shield here as well. Icicle Spear coming through, and we're gonna get them now into range for one Brutal Swing as well, which is nice. Before it wouldn't have knocked them out, so they would have got a shield advantage. Like this, it will knock them out, and we're going to see now the Tapu Fini coming in, which has to take another Brutal Swing as well. Sadly, we don't have the coverage move, which my opponent knows, but we at least still have our Registeel, which will be able to one-shot them with one Zap Cannon. So far so good. Let's take a look what they have in the back here as well. Zap Cannon coming through, hopefully going to get the knockout onto the opponent here, and we're going to get that one as well. As you see a Charizard coming through, this is going to be very, very bad for us actually. We have to kind of try to play around it. They're going to go ahead and go for one Dragon Claw. Hopefully I can reach my own one this time, but they're going to still get to another charge move here. I have to let this move go through. It's going to be another Dragon Claw. I have to get to 2 Zap Cannons here in time. If I don't get to 2 Zap Cannons, it's going to be over. I go for my first one here. Let's take a look at this. Do I have to call the no shield here? I think I have to call the no shield, but I'm actually going to shield this move up. It's going to be the Blast Burn. Great decision by me, and I can go for the Zap Cannon just before they reach the next charge move. This was so close, and we will be able to go for, like, we'll be able to win this game here. So we're going to see a Charizard against us. We have to swap out immediately. Charizard is really tricky to deal with, honestly. It's a very tricky one. The Talonflame would have been way better, but since Charizard got buffed, Talonflame is basically nowhere to be seen, just because Wing Attack is so much better than Incinerate there, as well as Blast Burn is really strong. So yeah, very interesting here now, going to go up against this opponent's Giratina. We will be able to realign, which is amazing for us, as we can go ahead and now go for one charge move against the opponent's Charizard as well, and get the shield back. They're still forced to throw here. I'm going to shield this move up because I kind of want to get rid of the final shield by the opponent, and I will be able to go for another Brutal Swing here, as this is going to go ahead and actually going to get catched by the Cobalion. This is really bad for us because Cobalion going to be a little bit of an issue to deal with right now. Sacred Sword coming through, I can go ahead and go for my own close combat here. I think that was in CMP tie. Do I get the shield here? I do get the shield, and they're going to try to knock me out here. It's all basically coming down now to my own Registeel. Let's see, Registeel can take out 2 Pokemon. We can definitely take a few moves here. We don't really care too much about our health here anyway. As long as we don't get into Dragon Claw range, we should be fine. But we're going to see now the opponent going for their own Sacred Sword. I will be able to go for the Focus Blast here, trying to knock them out. Let's take a look at this one. It's going to knock them out straight away. We're not in Dragon Claw range, but we have to catch the move. Didn't work out, and my opponent going to be able to take this game home was, I think, basically the perfect timing to catch, but my opponent was just able to overfarm a little bit. So, good game there. Let's try to repeat this one there, because, yeah, we're going to see another Charizard. Hopefully this time around we can play a little bit better. I'm going to stay in for a little bit, take one Dragon Claw, go for my own Dragon Claw, trying to get some damage onto the opponent. While their moves are super effective, you see already, like, we're basically in a good spot here as well. We're going to see that they're going to let this move go through. I can go into my Ampharos and I can farm them all the way down. Getting rid of the opponent's Charizard is very, very amazing here, as we're going to be able to get so much energy. 4 moves basically of energy worth it, as we can go for another Focus Blast, and we're going to one-shot another Pokemon here as well, as we're going to see now the Dragonite coming in. I will be able to just go into my own Registeel, which might have been not the best play, but I thought I can just go ahead and go for some Zap Cannons, which is going to be a little bit better for us, as we can debuff the opponent, I thought, which does not happen here immediately. They can go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball. I can still get to another charge move in time, I think, and I do, which will put them into range for a knockout. Let's see if they're going to shield this move up. They're going to shield this move up. Another no debuff there, which is annoying. But we're going to see now the Seed Bomb coming through. I still should be able to go for the Brutal Swing, and I still should be able to knock them out. And I will be able to knock them out. Very good game. Next opponent, Kommo-O against Walrein. We saw that one before. Basically, I lose nearly every lead here so far, but I'm still fighting through it. Honestly, MVP for this team, I would say, is actually Shadow Ampharos. Like, this Pokemon seems to be so amazing currently in the meta. We're going to see the opponent going for one Dragon Claw bait here, very smart decision. As now I can go for another Brutal Swing, trying to get the last shield of my opponent, which I will be able to get, but they will be able to get my last shield as well here, as I have to I'm forced to shield up the Blast Burn. I still should be able to farm down in time, have a ton of energy now. Let's see what's coming in. It's coming in the Walrein, so we can say goodbye to the Walrein, you thought, but nope, my opponent going to try to catch the move onto the Tapu Fini, which did not work out whatsoever for them. They have now enough damage basically on them that one Zapkin is going to knock them out, and this is going to be a very good game, as the opponent going to get Focus Blast most likely here from either my Registeel or my, what's called Ampharos. One Earthquake still is not enough. I go for the Focus Blast. Yeah, Focus Blast and Zapcan does the same amount of damage. Zapcan just has the option to debuff the opponent, which Focus Blast doesn't have, of course. But we can snipe them with another Focus Blast, and we can say goodbye to them as well. Bye-bye, Walrein. Good game there. Next opponent coming in. We're going to see here the final opponent, I think, as well, having a Gliscor. Gliscor is the main core breaker for this team. Being able to basically beat all 3 Pokemon is kind of wild, so I have to kind of try to play around here. I don't know if this is going to be possible to win this one, but like, I got them low already. I'm going to call the bait here. It's going to be a Night Slash, which is amazing for us, as it now should put them into range where I can just farm them down if I shield twice. But actually, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to opt to not do anything there and just let the Earthquake go through and hope that my Registeel can win this game, but as it seems like there is not really anything I can do at this point of time. Like, it was a complete hard counter, but I think I could have played this better. Like, there literally was like nothing. Like, there was literally the best complete hard counter there for my opponent, but honestly, I don't know if there was anything I could have played better other than, like, maybe if I tried to realign against the Gliscor, I guess I could have had a chance, but like this, it's going to be a little bit tough to win this one still. They're going to be able to knock me out here. I can try to farm down with my own Kommo-O, but like, what is supposed to happen here? We're going to see the pitch out now, most likely going for one shield as well, but they're actually going to let this move go through. Maybe there's still a chance, but of course, they can go for the debuffing move, and like, there's no lot that I can do about Feather Dance, as our attack is harshly dropping down here. We can go for another Dragon Claw. They can even let this move go through, but they're going to shield this move up here as well, as they can go ahead, shield up the next move from the opponent, but it's not really looking too good, as you see here already. Have to go basically immediately for my Dragon Claw. This will not knock them out yet. I can farm them all the way down. Is there still a chance of getting to the Dragon Claw? We are not getting there by just a small margin there, but still, this team is so much fun to play. I really would recommend you this if you have the resources for it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you haven't already, and I see you in the next one. Bye.